guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Hello and welcome to Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd. We are back at full strength. We have our mustached producer Declan back from his honeymoon in Maui. Vikings play on Monday Night Football tonight. This is a great day to be a football fan here, boys. December football. Vikings control their own destiny.
It was great, too, because, you know, before I left for the Golden Knights Wild game last night, I was watching the noon red zone games. And, you know, the only sad thing that I can find about the greatest invention in TV history, the red zone, is the December games, the plethora of ones that don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just so sad when it doesn't matter.
It feels like the Titans were playing in 3 different games yesterday.
It did, yes, exactly.
It's like every time I was like, is it the Titans again? What's happening?
Like, it's Kenny Albert with Titans Jags
all
day.
And now it's Kenny Albert with Titans Giants.
Yeah. That must be
on
hell.
Fox.
Hell is being sent to a place where it's December football that means nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, last week we had, I think it was Titans Jaguars, or was it 2 weeks ago? And then we had Saints versus Giants. And of course, like, there's fantasy football ramifications, but it's pretty. Well, the Bengals Titans, the Bengals are still, if they can run the table, they could still maybe get.
But Tommy DeVito being knocked out with a concussion to put was it Tim Boyle in?
Tim Boyle.
I mean, it's just it's like just end the game.
Dude, you know your franchise is tanking when Tim Boyle comes in to finish the job. All right, we just need to make sure this remains a 21-point deficit. Timmy, why don't you get in here? All right, let's start with Dex here. We'll make our statements, go around the room.
All right, I'll give you an opening statement. I'll have some other stuff on the honeymoon, which was great. Glad to be back here at full strength with you guys. So here's my opening statement, though, as it relates to the Vikings and the rest of the NFL. In the words of the great Ludacris, don't slip up or get got, because the Vikings are coming for that number 1 spot.
Wow.
That is my opening statement.
Boy.
Don't slip up or get got, because the Vikings are coming for the number 1 spot.
The Lions got last night.
Yes. They are. And Philly, who is winning and has, you know, a good path to maybe still get there. Don't slip up either, Philly. That applies to the Eagles as well as it applies to the Vikings on Monday Night Football against the Bears and the rest of the way. But with the Lions losing to the Bills, all of a sudden everything becomes very interesting here. Some poor team, by poor I mean as in a team that's still really good, is probably going to have 13 or 14 wins and have to go on the road as a wild card team between the Vikings and Lions. I think it was the Titans in like 2001 was the last time a 13-win team had to start wild card weekend on the road. So it's been a long time since that's happened, and that was obviously in the 16-game schedule. But with the Lions losing, don't slip up or get got, everyone in the NFC, but the Vikings, they're still coming for that number 1 spot. That's my opening statement.
Is, man. They're going to wind up, whoever gets that 5 seed is going to wind up, and it might still be the Vikings, like 4 games better than whoever they go on the road to face in the first round. That's crazy.
And we'll debate it, and we'll say they got to seed this out instead of doing it, and the league will smile and say, no, we don't. Yeah. We go through this every single year. There's some team, and it might be the Vikings, that seemingly gets screwed, and the league's like, no. If you win your division, you can be 8-9. You're getting a home game.
Could I give you this? Maybe it's a hot take wrapped in a statement, though. I think right now, and please play devil's advocate and let's hash this out, but I think right now, based on the state of the Lions defense, 13 injured players on defense before yesterday's game, and then 3 more dudes went out. Sounds like at least 2 of them aren't coming back this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my statement is I think the Vikings right now in this moment are better than the Lions. Better head coach. I know Dan Campbell, but like, give me Kevin O'Connell as a head coach, maybe by a slight margin over Dan Campbell. Give me the Vikings defense by 10 miles over Detroit's defense.
Yeah.
And okay, Detroit's offense, yes, it is a wrecking ball, but the Vikings also have a top 10 offense in the league. Is that a hot take? Like, I think right now in this moment, I think the Vikings are a better team.
If you're a Lions fan, yeah, like, you're a moron. if you're here,
You got 48 points yesterday.
I think I can make a case. I think I can make a solid case right now that if you just go on who's healthy, okay, so not overall body of work, but who you have right now, I think you could make a case that the division actually that the Packers and Vikings are in a more favorable spot than Detroit, based on the fact that both of those teams have way more guys. Like you can't take away a defense and be fine, and we saw it yesterday. Buffalo scored at will. Now, Buffalo has some problems, too, because the last 2 games, I think they've allowed 84 points against. So Buffalo's got some problems, too, defensively. But, yeah, I think there's a good case to be made that in the playoffs now, Green Bay and Minnesota are scarier than Detroit.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport came out on Monday morning and said Aleem McNeil had a torn ACL, so his season's done.
That's a huge
And then
loss.
their cornerback, Carlton Davis, has a fractured jaw and is out 6 weeks.
Ugh.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah.
Well, and then that one guy's ankle is still on the field.
It's just planted there.
They carted him off like his ankle. Like I don't know what happened. But yeah, I honestly think the Packers and Vikings playoff wise are scarier than Detroit right now because of this.
Yeah, it's really that defense. It's unfortunate for them because if you put Aiden Hutchinson back out there and like one of the defensive backs, it might be a different story. But I just don't. Now, do they have the firepower to just outscore 100%? They if they can score 40 points a game, which they can against a lot of different teams, then they might still be able to make a run. But just seems like some bad luck percolating for the Lions.
I got a question for you. Is this to a certain degree? Is this because Dan Campbell from the first day of training camp goes old school, right? Does this catch up to you eventually?
Well, the Vikings went kind of old school with training.
Kind of, but nothing like Dan Campbell does. Like the Vikings went hard for 2024, which is like it's not Club Med then, but it's still
it's not Maui in Hawaii.
But it's still the spa. You're still going to the spa. I'm just saying, Detroit, I don't know that it's a coincidence that you start to get guys hurt, or at least some guys hurt, because of the physical toll that type of coaching takes.
Yeah. No, it's, you
just throwing it out there, Lions fans.
Way louder than I wanted it to be.
Think about that, Lions fans. Just think about that.
We're back to Judd here.
Okay. Mr. Positivity again, Mr. Sunshine. Don't sleep on the fact this has been one of the best falls to be a Minnesota sports fan in a long time. Let's go through this. Fall, because winter starts in a couple of weeks, I think.
Starts doesn't it start on December 21st?
Okay. Anyway, it's still fall. It's still fall. Vikings, 11-2. The Wild, despite the loss to the Golden Knights last night, still near the top of the NHL standings. The Wolves have rectified things, and the Wolves are a good team. We've thought that they should be, and I think that the Wolves are proving that they're going to be fine.
The Twins are right-sizing.
No. The three teams that we follow the closest, the men's teams that we talk about on this show, are going really well. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've had those 3 teams in a really good position where at least one of them is not embarrassing you or flopping. And yes, the Twins are right-sizing. Good for the Twins. Don't care about the Twins right now. But I do think that we should appreciate, as sports fans who are often skeptical and cynical for good reason, that this has been a fun fall.
We're also taking the axe. We took the axe from Wisconsin and are headed to the Duke's Mayo Bowl to take Virginia Tech's
for PJ.
soul.
Yep.
And then dump a bucket of mayo over
and
their
the portal.
heads.
We're getting guys left and right. We
just got like 5 guys of note from the portal. Now, how many did we lose? Because we only celebrate the ones we bring in, right?
He's done a pretty good job. They haven't lost that many.
I'm telling you, he's
fine.
He has his quirks, but
he's fine.
He's kind of perfect for just keep winning your 8-9 games.
Let's settle down. Let's settle down and understand that he's fine.
Yep. No, I think it's a good time. Every time you flip on the TV, whether it's a Sunday for football or Monday in this case, you're seeing good coaching. You're seeing superstars, because that's another layer to this too. Kirill, Anthony Edwards, Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold, Carlos Correa, and
That's right.
No,
You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go to the right sizing. I mean, come on, man. They participated in the Rule 5 draft for the first time since 2017. What more could you want?
yeah, that's a great way to make sure that you have a guaranteed minimum salary player on your 26-man roster.
You're not going to send him back.
By the way, we haven't done the Ishbia conversation yet on
I
the
was
show.
about to go there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right
Let's
there.
go there. My statement is sell, sell, sell. Sell right now to the Ishbias. Please make this happen. I mean, this would be, from what I have just vetted from afar, this would be a home run ownership group for Twins fans who are starved for owners that like to spend money and like make things aggressive. Yes, the state of baseball and their TV revenues and other things still complicate things. I'm not implying that once they come in here, they're just going to trade for Kevin Durant like they did with the Suns, basically. But I think this would be the exact type of owners that Twins fans have been begging for. Now, maybe this is be careful what you wish for type of thinking. We don't know what type of impact they could have on running a baseball team versus running a basketball team, which are obviously two very different things. But all Twins fans, my generation specifically, who didn't see or don't have any conscious memories of 87 or 91 World Series championships, have been begging this franchise to spend. And there's been times they have spent relative to their market, and they've signed Carlos Correa, they've signed Josh Donaldson, they've done things before. However, I think these two would change that landscape, and this is it's a good first step for as much as we've ripped this team over the last few months. This, in my opinion, would be a great first step to at least win some fans back. I think it would.
So Matt Ishbia is the controlling owner of the Phoenix Suns, but what's his brother's name?
Justin
Ishbia.
Yep.
And he's a minority owner of the Suns. It sounds like, according to reports, like Bloomberg was the first to have this, like late last week, or over the weekend, and it'd be Justin Ishbia who would be front and center as the controlling owner of the Twins if this happened. But then, like, Matt would be kind of in the background, right?
Yes. Yeah. Justin loves baseball.
Okay.
And I guess has openly talked about his desire to own a baseball team. And I believe that the brothers, led by Justin, made a significant contribution to the Michigan State baseball program.
Okay.
So, like, he's a seam head.
And if you look right now,
He's a seam head.
that's good. The Pohlads aren't.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
never
like,
heard that term. I don't think I've ever heard seam.
They're
head
just
before.
not. The Pohlads just aren't. They're not a ball family. You know?
I could take a cheap shot right now, but I'm not going to. It's the holiday season.
Wow, pulling a punch here. If you look in the NBA right now, so the NBA is a salary capped league, but you can go over it's a soft cap. So you can spend over the cap to retain your own players, and there's a first apron, second apron luxury tax. The two highest payrolls in the NBA this year in terms of owners overextending and paying way over the salary cap to maintain a competitive roster are the Timberwolves and the Suns. And you could argue that some of the moves that the Ishbias have made, kind of putting their hands on this new franchise, have been reckless, and they've kind of hamstrung their team. Like the Suns aren't ready to win a championship, but because they don't have any depth. But in terms of wanting to spend a bunch of money to put a competitive team out, they're doing that right now. And
Right.
part of the problem in the NBA is if you do that and you aren't really good, like top of the league good, the penalties that you incur as like a second apron luxury tax team make it harder to get out of certain bad contracts and to make other moves. Well, in baseball right now, the only penalty for like spending too much money is you lose some money. And if you don't care that much about that,
Right.
you just, okay, whatever, flush it and go get the next guy.
Right.
So, could be interesting.
Yeah, and Matt Ishbia was on the Michigan State team that went to the Final Four in like 2000 or something. And
Yeah.
it sounds like he is very hands-on. But I guess here's my question. Can we have it both ways? Because our criticism of the Pohlads is that we deem them to barely care about baseball. So then if Justin comes in and he is hands-on and fires most of the staff and brings in his own people and appoints himself president, can we then say, well, he shouldn't do that after we just got done bitching and moaning about the Pohlads not caring enough, you know?
No, I mean, if you polled most Twins fans,
I agree.
and said, hey, would you care if the Ishbias came in and cleaned house and started over? I don't think you'd get a lot of complaints.
I agree. And something else that they did in Phoenix was they were one of the first to take their games and put them on over-the-air free television as well.
Yeah.
Which is a great PR. If you have the resources, the finances to absorb the loss there, it's a great PR move.
Well, but you also, I think part of the equation there is when you put the team on free TV, you drastically expand distribution and eyeballs and thus advertising dollars.
Yep.
So teams are trying to figure out, okay, if we expand distribution, but we're not getting a check written to us, can we make up enough through advertising dollars by having more people and more eyeballs on the product versus the direct-to-consumer model? But yeah, like to your point, the Suns are immersed in that a year or two ahead of where the Twins are at with some of this stuff. So that is a really interesting ownership group that we should be keeping an eye on here for sure. And it's the only one that's been like this aggressively reported, right?
Yeah.
But it also shows that people are sniffing around too, which was like a question mark of, okay, who's going to buy this team potentially, because baseball is not in a great place necessarily financially. So like now this to me is an important step of, no, there are people who are very rich and want to buy baseball teams.
Yep. And I'll say this too, the Pohlads have always operated sort of reacting to what the business, they're reacting to what's the revenue from last year, and therefore here's what our payroll should be. And it's okay, so COVID put a dent in, so our TV situation is in flux, so therefore let's react and adjust and lower the payroll accordingly. But there's some other franchises, and we brought up the Padres as a great example, that are using payroll as like a lead blocker to get fans interested in their product and business. That, hey, we don't make this much money as a business to be spending what we do in free agency and on player payroll, but we are going to trust that by us putting out this message to you fans, we are aggressive, we want to win a World Series, and we go star hunting, that you in turn will buy tickets.
Yes.
And the Padres for 4 years have averaged 40,000. They're averaging 15,000 more fans, maybe more than that, than the Twins do for their home games, times 81 games.
Yeah. And baseball is an intriguing one because aside from like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Sox, it's also more and more, and it's not that they don't make cash off of their both national and local TV deals, but more and more it's becoming like My Sport Hockey, which is part of your biggest way to make money is to get people in your buildings. Like the Wild does great. Why? Because they get people in the buildings buying merchandise, buying beers that are like $20. Mm-hmm. So like I think baseball teams like the Twins need fans in the stadium. This thing that, we're just going to make a ton off of our now dead RSN partnership, or, between the sharing of national TV, money is basically drying up, right? So you get fans in the stadium. And the problem right now is the Twins are giving nobody reason to buy tickets.
Yeah.
So
it's tough, man. It's a tough marketing sell. We'll go deeper on that, I'm assuming, this week on the SKOR Twin Show. Before we make our next round here of Monday statements, why don't you make a statement about Finch Home Solutions, Judd?
I love that idea. And here's why. Sports dad don't get the door, right? When it's sports dad's like, I'm not going to get that door, but I'm going to tell you right now a little story about a year back where Finch Home Solutions knocked on my door, and sports dad ran to the door and let them in, and because they came in to do work.
They came back the next day because sports dad didn't answer the first day.
That's not true. That's not true. They came in my house and they did some work, fix some lights, put in some three-pronged outlets. Fantastic job, courteous, professional, explained everything. Cody and his team are absolutely the best in the business. As you can see here, no project is too big, no project is too small. Finch Home Solutions is going to take care of you. And they also have a free smoke and carbon monoxide system inspection, smoke detectors, which is incredibly important at this time of year. If you're going to put in a hot tub, guess what? Finch Home Solutions can do all the wiring work. If you're redoing your kitchen, Finch Home Solutions right there to do all of that work as well when it comes to the electronic side of things. 612-357-2604. FinchHomeSolutions.com. FinchHomeSolutions.com. If Sports Dad wants to let you in his house, then you know that they have the seal of approval. Finch Home Solutions.
All right, here's my next statement. Woodhouse Spas is a great holiday gift idea. So we're sitting here. Maybe it snuck up on you. It's the 16th of December, and you have not picked up a gift yet for that loved one in your life, your wife, your mom. Woodhouse Spas, locally owned, Maple Grove, Woodbury, Rosedale Center, with more than 70 spa services, massages, which old Dex Tweet's got his first one in Maui.
It's great.
You don't have to do 90 minutes. You could do 45 or 60 minutes.
You want.
Want to?
Very aggressive.
So massages, body treatments, facials, specialty packages, nails, pedicures, whatever it is. Why don't you go to woodhousespas.com or stop in store, Maple Grove, Woodbury, Rosedale Center, and get a gift card. Somebody hit us up last week, got a $500 gift card for their wife from Woodhouse Spas, and said, boom, she's going to love it. She can go pick whatever she wants to. Woodhousespas.com. Okay, next statement. Jesse Ventura still got it. Our former governor, who I actually once saw referee a main event at SummerSlam 1999 inside. I think it was it was a Target Center.
It was Target Center, yeah.
And as he was the governor, he also came back to WWE to be the special guest referee. But aside from like a random 2009 one-off appearance at like a Raw anniversary, he's been off commentary for WWE for like 35 years. And I have maintained he is the greatest wrestling color commentator of all time. He called the first handful of WrestleManias, and he was a heel announcer. He was a bad guy announcer. He would actively cheer for the bad guy and logically explain why the good guy that you think is the good guy, like Hulk Hogan, is actually the bad guy. And they brought him back for Saturday Night's Main Event, which Saturday Night's Main Event debuted like 40 years ago as an off-season replacement for Saturday Night Live. And it was like Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, and they'd have these big matches and stuff. And they brought back Jesse Ventura to do some commentating, including for the main event. And that dude, now he doesn't like know all the storylines and stuff yet, but that dude did not miss a freaking beat. And the wrestling community, a lot of people younger who don't remember him were like, whoa, this dude's like, why is he cheering for the bad guy? What's happening here? But it was awesome. Our former governor killed it on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, he was playing the hits. He was using his old commentary tricks. I liked it. You could tell he was, and I don't know if he's just. I mean, how old is Jesse now?
It's like 73,
70,
I want to say.
You know, he's
in his 70s.
He's up there. You could tell he was a little nervous. You know, he was kind of shaking a little bit when it first started. But at the end of the day, he had the entire outfit wardrobe just like it was 30, 40 years ago. He was awesome.
Everything.
Yes, and even though nostalgia is probably the dirtiest but best drug for wrestling fans, by the way, them reinventing or rebranding Saturday Night Main Event into the mainstream, but still throwing some nostalgia factor of the wing-tipped title Judd from the 90s, the
old belt. Yes.
Yep, the old belt. They had the promos that were still, the referees wore the old blue shirt and black bow tie. It was great. It was a great
I ain't got time to bleed, Judd.
So is he back full time on this now, or was this just a guest appearance?
They've got some Saturday Night Main events scheduled out here. I don't know. I think the next one might be in January.
Yeah.
But it's kind of they brought him back. I think him and Mr. McMahon had a little falling out there back in the day. And now that Vince is gone, Triple H reached out to Jesse. He's signed to a Legends deal now, so it's all very...
I can't imagine Vince and Jesse not seeing eye to eye on almost everything. That shocks me.
So, very exciting. Very exciting times.
Judd?
No, let's go to Dex.
Oh, you want to go me? Okay.
Let's get some Hawaii statements.
Sure. Sure. Well, number one, I would do it. Is my statement. I would go. I would pack up my bleep and go to Hawaii. I
Like,
think I
live
could
there?
do it. Yeah, I could do it. Obviously, it's very easy. I think it's easier said than done, just because it's bleeping Hawaii. But man, the lifestyle, the vibe, the island time, the no stress. I think it would be, number one, it'd be great for my patience, which I don't have much of. I think you are adapting to that culture, and you basically become very patient and laid back, which is something I desperately need in my life overall. But I think I could do it. We were even talking. I mean, my wife still works like part time and is still a server. So like we were saying, like, what would we do here? Like if we came here, like what are we gonna do? She would obviously still say she'd serve. I think I'd work at one of the breweries. Like we went to
you could
3
still
different
do
breweries.
this.
And I could still do this for sure. But that means,
I lived in Seattle for 2 years, man. I was halfway to Hawaii.
However, even though
you're back
you are,
now, right?
but even though
I'm
you're a
back now,
morning person, I'd have to be an extra morning person. So you were 2 hours back in Washington. I'd be 4 hours back of here. So even 2 hours back from where you were in Seattle. So that means like getting up at 5:30 or 5 a.m. to do shows.
Well, what you could do, so like for Twins, for instance, you would just do like
That would be nice.
post game stuff, because like the 7 o'clock games would be done at 6 o'clock Hawaii time, or even earlier than that.
Yeah.
And you'd do post game, and then you're free for dinner, and then bada bing, start the next day.
It is so
this is
weird.
great.
It is so weird how like, and I didn't really explore this too much, and this is my second time being in Hawaii. I went in like 8 years ago too, and I hadn't been to Maui. I'd only been to Honolulu and Kauai. But the nightlife, like by 9-10 o'clock, you don't go out again. Like you don't start hopping to bars and stuff. You are dead tired. Like you've been in the sun all bleeping day.
Or the wind, Judd.
Or
Judd
the
said
wind.
last
Yeah,
week,
did I
The
hear-
wind tires me out too.
Did I hear the wind tires you out?
Yes, the wind tires me out.
That's-
Windy days
And I was
tire
like,
me out.
Have you ever cross-referenced on the days that you think the wind tired you out? Was it also sunny that day?
No. When it was windy here last week or 2 weeks ago, the wind wouldn't stop. I was dead tired that whole day. I didn't even go outside. The wind just tires me out.
How
I
does
couldn't
it
take
tire
it.
you out?
I don't know, man. It made me tired. Look, I'm talking about what happened to me. Like, I don't know. My brain got tired. Who knows why?
Just watching the wind is exhausting.
I mean,
oh man, those trees.
sometimes your body does stuff. It's like a car. I don't know why my car does stuff. I don't control like my. I don't want to be tired. I just get tired because of the wind.
Are you sure it wasn't Canadians and Sabres just putting you to sleep midway through this?
No, it was
second
during the
period?
afternoon. I got done with our recording, and I'm like, the wind's howling, and
Yeah.
I gotta go take a nap. I'm exhausted.
It was the 5 Padres Reds that made you
Yeah.
tired, actually.
I wish
and
it
it was
had
windy
been.
out too.
Yeah.
I wish
And
it had been.
It is interesting how there's really only one main drag of road to get you everywhere. Or I shouldn't say one main drag road, because there's obviously like the highway breaks off over the east or west of where you're going. But like the speed limit on the major highways is 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone just has to chill out, take your time.
One of the guys at our resort literally asked me, "Hey, because he figured out we were from Minnesota." He goes, "Well, so how many lanes are your highways?" Like he literally was so intrigued by the fact. I was like, "Oh, some of them are 4 to 5 lanes." He's like, "That's crazy. That's crazy to me that there's a 4-lane highway." Because
It's like 5 in one direct. It's like 10 if you.
Well, tell them
Exactly.
about California.
Yeah.
exactly.
I mean, we're nothing compared to California.
Yeah, it's wild.
Los Angeles is nuts.
Yeah. And and I know the cost of living there is expensive and whatnot. But I think I would do it. I think I could do it. I could absolutely do it.
I love it.
live in the
I'm
warm
here
weather.
for it. We'll adjust our schedules however needed to accommodate
We're not adjusting
Maui
a thing.
decks.
He's just going to have to
Maui
wake up
decks.
at 2 a.m. to produce the shows.
I love how Judd for the first part of that conversation was just stewing over.
About what?
I don't know. You were just like on your phone and stewing over something.
Oh, no, I was looking up, I believe...
taking vacation.
Nope. To what Deck said, I believe that we are actually 5 hours ahead of them, not 4.
No, we're 4.
Pretty solidly 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Are
hold-
there different time zones
Well-
for
Well, there
different
is-
places in Hawaii?
Well, in Maui we were 4.
Okay, it says, according to the, I think, AI thing here, it said Hawaii, which is part of the Hawaii Aleutian time zone. I can't pronounce the second part of the word. Is 3 hours behind the West Coast, 5 hours behind the Midwest, 6 hours behind the Eastern Seaboard. That's what
right
this
now
says.
it says 7:01 a.m. right now.
Yeah.
Hawaii Aleutian Standard Time.
Aleutian.
Illusion. I don't know.
Yeah, it says 5. So
they are pontificating that they're a big believer in getting rid of the daylight savings thing. 'Cause that part, I'm with them, by the way. Get rid of it.
It's a big debate right now. I feel like
it's a big debate. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was super interesting. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. Had the Mustang convertible. That's nice. We originally had a Jeep. That's what I wanted. So they didn't have that. Had to go with the Mustang convertible, which, I mean, that thing goes, but that thing is loaded. It felt like I was driving a speedboat, basically, and I was like, God, parking that thing was difficult. It's so much wider than what I'm used to.
You know, driving rent-a-cars gives me the most anxiety of anything on a vacation, because it's like a different car.
Yeah.
You don't want to ding it.
Another rant. When we returned it, they tried to accuse me of damage to the car. I had to fill out a waiver saying and I was like, no, I didn't damage. There was this big scratch mark near the front bumper that if I had done that, and I didn't do it, not damage this car. But
if I did it,
by the looks of this, we would have heard a scratch against the car. No chance we did this.
Yeah,
and
screw
then
that guy.
And then once we did a little more investigation, I got the receipt for the car rental. No extra thing was charged on, but I was panicking through the airport. Those
people are full of crap. You turn in your car, you throw the keys at the person, and you walk away. You don't that. That's such crap.
Don't do that. But also they asked me this too, and now I learned my lesson. Take pictures of the rental car before you get in. I didn't really think this is the first time I have physically rented a rental car.
And then Photoshop out the scratch at the
toss in the keys.
I'll go into
say,
Canva.
Wash the car. I'm out of here. I'm going home. Bye. I had a guy in Florida once try to tell Don and I, because he's like, the standard question: do you want to upgrade your car? We're like, no, it's fine. He goes, well, the only thing is the car that you rented might have some trouble getting up the Sunshine Bridge.
That's
and I'm like,
dude, they pulled that in Hawaii when we were there.
It better not.
Yeah.
I'm
You're in Florida.
If that's the problem, then you need to take that car and toss it into the ocean.
That's shady, man.
That's very shady. And the thing is, you just got to get aggressive back. You just got to say, if that's the case, then that car needs to come out of rotation right now, you jackass.
Did you get physical? Did you
no, but
I hands on him.
But I mean, I wasn't going to upgrade my car. It's one thing to try to sell me the insurance, right? Because if you get an accident, because the great thing is, if you buy the insurance,
yes,
you can launch that car off the bridge and walk away.
I forget.
And it's like, well, your car's gone,
which is
but I
fun
bought
to
the
do
insurance.
Sometimes it's like Grand Theft Auto, really.
You could you can do anything you want.
I forget the stand-up comedian who has the bit about that. I could crash this car, wrap it around a pole, and then they'll just give me a new one. I'll just go request a new one.
Walk out of it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I did grab the insurance, by the way. So if there was damage,
you did?
Yes. Oh yeah, I did it. It was like $40 a day, and clearly, if I didn't have that and they tried to screw me, I paid for itself right there.
You got the insurance, and then they tried to tell you damaged their car. Okay, that's not. That's not
the point
possible.
of the insurance. Yeah.
I don't know.
The insurance is, if you paid for that insurance, you should have come back with the front bumper gone.
Yeah. I don't know.
Should have done way more
damage. Lop it off.
I don't know what happened. But yeah, Hawaii was great.
Okay.
It was awesome.
John, you have another statement?
I was allowing Declan to wrap up. I wanted to hear about the trip. You guys think I didn't care about the trip? I cared about the trip. I completely forgot his birthday. You know what? I don't feel bad about that, but I wanted to hear about the trip. I was genuinely interested in what transpired. It sounds like a great time.
Yeah. It's a long travel. It's like 11 or 12 hours and a stop.
Yeah,
we have breaking news?
Some breaking news from Declan's friends at Underdog. David Montgomery out indefinitely.
Whoa.
Knee injury.
Man, they're just piling up, dude.
This is now.
Shefty has it too, yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is.
Out indefinitely on December 16th is bad for them. because
and with the way he plays the game, yeah.
they also still have Jahmyr Gibbs,
Sure.
who is one of the 5 best running backs in the
absolutely, but it's a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Crazy.
So my statement is the Lions, things were bad when the day started. They just got worse.
No,
That's
worse.
my next statement.
Go to Maui. You get the rental car insurance.
Can you see Dan
David.
Campbell? What a great
I bet that dude
TV
would
show.
slay Maui.
Yeah.
Dan in Hawaii. What I need here is the biggest rental car you got.
Take a Mai Tai. All right, boys. Tonight, Vikings Vent Line, for those of you who want to join us post-game after Monday Night Football. These have been your weekend statements. We'll get back to Dex firing. Dex fired someone at the rental car place. I think that was.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I won't name the company, but yes.
What a bunch of crap.
Yes.
What a stunt.
All right, we'll be back on this podcast tomorrow with Doogie for a scoop session, also likely recapping Monday Night Football. Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd and Maui Dex.